Today I'm going to talk a little bit about Camillus knives with you. These are not what they used to be. And what I mean by that is, in the 90s, when I was first starting to really get into carrying knives every day and worried a little bit about construction and materials and things like that, Camillus to me was one of those brands where, I didn't have a ton of money, but it was what I considered like the upper echelon of knives that I could afford. We would go down to Tennessee a couple times each year, go to the Smoky Mountain Knife Works, and I'd always buy, some budget knives, but I always made sure that I had pre-picked out whatever Camillus model I wanted. And for instance, one of those I got back then, this was actually my brother's, which he gave to me, but I had the same exact knife as well. But it's a Camillus, they call it a lever lock, but it actually opens by this lever. And as you can see, Camillus of New York, USA. Now all their knives, I'm 100% positive, are made overseas, and I'm not even sure it's the same people that owned Camillus like they did back then. These might not have been made even in New York or in the States back then. There were some rumors that Spyderco had done a few knives for them and stuff like that. I'm really not 100% sure, but I really liked Camillus knives back then. This was the closest thing you could get in the late 90s, like when I was in high school and stuff. This was the closest thing you could get to a switchblade and carry legally, in Ohio. So, pretty cool little knife. But I've noticed the last few years there's been a resurgence in Camillus knives. However, most of them to me haven't been something that I'd want to invest my money in or carry on a regular basis. The materials are okay. I've seen some with AUS-8, G10, cheaper steels, stuff like that. Just none of them really caught my eye until I saw this one. I was walking through Bass Pro, and I saw it in a clamshell pack. So I went up to the glass, showcase to see if they had a display model that I could take a look at, and they didn't. The guy was kind enough to let me open up the packaging and, give it a quick little once-over. And I decided, for 30-odd bucks, I'd give it a shot because I noticed, it's a frame lock. It is AUS-8 blade steel, which, while isn't super steel that it used to be, in the 90s and early 2000s, this was still a super relevant knife steel. But you still see it around. But it's an AUS-8 steel, about a 2 3/4 inch cutting edge. I think the knife weighs in somewhere around 4.5 or 5 ounces. They call it a titanium bonded steel. So I'm not really 100% sure what that means. But it is obviously some sort of stainless steel. And then it does have these G10, I would call them, accent panels, or I wouldn't really call them full grip panels, because when you're handling the knife, you're still getting a lot of the steel. For instance, in my larger hands, just the tips of my fingers kind of grasp the G10. But it is G10, and they offer it, and I've seen like coyote brown and a black. This happens to be like a desert tan or a khaki. A little bit of jimping back here. You do have some nice jimping up on the spine of the blade that offers, pretty good ergonomics, nice grip there. If you notice, if I hold the knife like this, you can see there's a straight 90 degree, but yet the blade has that nice downward kick. And what that allows you to do is when you're cutting rope or a zip tie or a quick strap or something, it gets it up under there and kind of keeps it in the belly of the knife and makes for a nice quick cut. And this knife did come pretty sharp, actually. Again, it's AUS-8 steel. It's a little bit of a toothy edge. And you can see it says Camillus titanium. It's a little bit of a toothy edge, but nice looking grind on the blade. It is a blow-through design, so you're not going to get a lot of dirt and debris trapped in there. It's got the nice looking little standoffs in there. Blade came, fairly well centered. And I love thumb stud knives. I mean, that's what I grew up on. And even though it's just nylon bushings in there, or washers, it just flies right out. And if you notice, it just free drops. So super smooth, nice knife from Camillus. I really haven't played a lot with the new stuff, and honestly, I didn't really carry this knife, but I did like it enough that I wanted to buy it and just kind of hang on to it. And I have flicked it around and played with it in the house. So it'd be interesting to see. They have one other knife, I think it's called the Beast maybe, that I'd like to get my hands on just to give it a try. I know it's got VG10, it's kind of oversized, and I kind of like bigger knives, so I might give that one a try. I did just pick this one up at Menards. It's another Camillus. It's got a little carbon fiber with a copper inlay on the sides. You know, just a little bit of the old time folder. I think they call it a black jacket. They had it on, you know, a clearance bin there, and that carbon fiber and kind of caught my eye. So Camillus is having a few different types of knives out there that I think are appealing to people, and they're not too expensive. How does this carry? Well, I couldn't really tell you. I may actually run some tests with it and do some cutting tests and carry it for a week and see how it feels in the pocket. It is fairly slim, so I don't think it would be an issue carrying it. Slightly oblong shape, but it's overall a pretty small knife. If we just do a real quick comparison of something that would be close to it, I think everybody knows by now Kershaw Cryo, and I thought that was, you know, pretty similar in size. I think they both have a 2 3/4 cutting edge, so on camera it looks like the Camillus is showing up a little bigger, but they're real close in size. You know, another one would be like a Kershaw Shuffle. This is a little bit Shuffle 2, slightly smaller in size, but it's something that you know, I think would be comparable in price. I've seen these for around $30 on Amazon. Actually, I've seen them a little bit cheaper than that, but I'm not sure if they're still in stock. And you know, these run for around $20 or so. So, you know, you're getting AUS-8 and you're getting, you know, G10 and stuff. So, not a bad deal for the price. If you guys find one and you'd like to check it out, I think that'd be good, you know, just for the price point and everything. But, yeah, so that's my take on, you know, at least one of the newer Camillus knives that they're offering. If you guys like my videos, please don't forget to give them a thumbs up or go ahead and subscribe to them. If you got any comments or feedback, it'd be greatly appreciated. Or anything else that you'd like to maybe see me review, I'll see if I got it or I can get my hands on it. One more time, there's the action on the Camillus 7. Cool little blade. Thanks, guys. Take care.